Look, kid, one day you wake up and see this on the news. The Strait of Hormuz is closed. Most people hear that and treat it like just another geopolitical headline. But what's really happening is this. Someone just put a hand on the throat of the global economy. Because the Strait of Hormuz may look small on a map, but a huge portion of the world's oil flows through that narrow passage. So if it gets blocked, it's not just about ships being delayed. It's about the entire system losing its flow. Now think about it clearly. Oil flow slows down or stops. What's the first reaction? Prices spike. Because markets don't price today, they price tomorrow. Even if oil isn't fully cut off yet, the possibility alone is enough. Markets buy fear in advance. That's the part most people miss. Oil doesn't only rise when it's actually scarce, it rises when people believe it might become scarce. But here's the real point. Oil isn't just another commodity. It's the fuel of the modern economy. Trucks run on it, planes fly with it, ships move with it, factories depend on it. Even plastic mostly comes from it. So when oil gets expensive, it's not just gas prices going up, life itself becomes more expensive. People walk into a grocery store and say, "Why are prices so high?" Most of the time, the answer is simpler than they think. The product didn't change, but the cost behind it did. It was grown, transported, stored, delivered. Every step in that chain requires energy, and a big part of that energy comes from oil. That's why, when oil goes up, the effect reaches all the way to the shelf. Now look at the global impact. If there's a serious crisis in Hormuz, the shock starts in oil markets. But it doesn't stay there. Transportation costs rise, production costs go up, companies pass those costs on. Inflation pressure builds. This doesn't hit just one country. Europe feels it, Asia feels it, emerging markets feel it even harder. Because when energy costs rise, it's not just businesses that suffer, it's people, electricity, transportation, food, everything is connected. A narrow waterway on one side of the world can reach straight into someone's pocket on the other side. Now, let's talk about the United States. A lot of people think the US is strong, it produces oil, it'll be fine. It's not that simple. Yes, the US produces oil, but prices are global. If the global market is shaken, the US feels it too. Gas prices rise, inflation pressure increases, consumer spending slows. The central bank has a harder job, so no, the US isn't outside the system, it's just a stronger player inside it. So what can it do? First move, strategic reserves. The US can release oil from its reserves to ease the pressure. But that's not a long-term fix. It just buys time. Second move, military presence. Because Hormuz isn't just a trade route, it's a strategic choke point. The US and its allies can increase naval presence to keep shipping lanes open. Third move, diplomacy and pressure. Because nobody wants a full-scale conflict over oil. War means more uncertainty, higher prices, and bigger economic damage. But here's the real lesson, kid. The global economy is more fragile than it looks. People try to explain everything with markets, interest rates, and charts. But underneath all that, there's a simpler truth. If energy flows, the system works. If energy gets tight, the system struggles. If energy stops, the world slows down. That's it. That's why the Strait of Hormuz isn't just a piece of geography. It's a valve. When it's open, nobody notices. But when it tightens, everyone feels it. Then suddenly people start asking, why is everything getting expensive? Most of the time, the answer isn't complicated. It's in the fuel that keeps the system running. Look, kid, if you really want to understand the economy, don't just watch the headlines. Watch the source. Don't just follow the money. Follow what keeps the system alive. Because sometimes the future of the world isn't decided in boardrooms. It's decided in narrow passages where oil flows. And Hormuz is one of them. The world may be a big machine, but that machine still needs oil to run. Subscribe to my channel. Like, subscribe, and comment.